Hello Hearthstone fans, my name is Matt, Derelict System on YouTube, and today I am doing a Curse of Naxxramus video specifically on the cards added in the Arachnid quarter. I'm going to give my opinion on them, whether or not I think they will work in your deck or specific decks, and yeah, let's jump right into it. So I beat Curse of Naxxramus Arachnid quarter the day it came out, which was a couple days ago, so I've had some time to play around with the cards. The first card I'm going over is the Anubar Ambusher, and it is obtained by beating the Rogue class challenge. It has a Death Rattle, which is return a random friendly minion to your hand, and it is a 5/5 for 4. So stat-wise, it's effectively a buffed up Yeti, which is a 4/5 for 4. And a 5/5 for 4 is good value in this case. The Death Rattle, return a random friendly minion to your hand, is kinda mixed. In the instance of a late game play, this could be an issue if you're returning something like a Lord of the Arena by accident, which it could take up your entire next turn to play. So that's not good, but it does have the benefit of allowing you to use battle cries again. In the instance of the acidic swamp ooze, you can play it again, destroy your opponent's weapon again, which is great. So this card is kind of a mixed bag, though in most cases it shouldn't be an issue, especially if you're playing it early game and you're returning a early game minion to your hand. It shouldn't be much of an issue to play it around 5 mana, which you will have the next turn, assuming you're playing this on the first turn. The next card I'm going to go over is a Druid card. In fact, let's just pop into one of my Druid decks. So this one is obtained by doing the Druid class challenge, and it is called Poison Seeds. Where is that? I want to remove it so you can see them stats, son. Destroy all minions and summon 2/2 Treants to replace them. So this is a spell card. It is quite good in my opinion, especially in certain instances. So if your opponent has like two Core Hounds out on the board and a Lord of the Arena, then Poison Seeds will take that down from something like ridiculous, like 24 damage, down to 6. And in the other instance that you have a bunch of weak minions out, like a 1/1 Wisp or something, this will buff it up a little bit. So it's mainly a removal card, and when combined with Swipe, you can get rid of quite a few minions. It's solid. It's a solid way of keeping alive in the late game, so I would highly recommend it for some removal. But once again, it is kind of situational, as it can screw up your board, and doesn't have the flexibility that something like Swipe would have, just taking out the enemy. So it's not bad, but it also allows you to use Death Rattles, which is a big thing because it destroys all minions. It doesn't just replace them. So if you have a Death Rattle heavy board and you want to get those out, Poison Seeds, and you still have some minions on the board. Not bad. So let's go into the neutral cards that were added. So these are just obtained by beating it. Normally, no class challenge is required. And the first card is the Haunted Creeper. Let me get rid of that as well, and all of the other ones will matter. So the Haunted Creeper is a pretty awesome card in my opinion. It has a Death Rattle of summoning 2 1/1 Spectral Spiders, which is what makes a 1/2 for 2 card good, because a 1/2 for 2 isn't normally that great of a card. So that Death Rattle is fantastic. The only issue with it is that those cards can be, spiders, the Spectral Spiders, can easily be picked off by something like a Mage's Hero Power, which isn't great. But it's effectively a value of 3/4 distributed across 3 minions, which is really nothing to complain about at a 2 cost. So I would recommend this in most instances. I think it's pretty great. But that is me, and it might not work in your deck. Let's just hope it does, because I like it. Nerebar Weblord. Minions with Battlecry cost 2 more. So this is a situational card, and it really doesn't go fantastic with all of the other cards in this deck, but it certainly isn't bad. Like I said, this wouldn't synergize with the Anubar Ambusher in the Rogue deck, but I'm playing a Druid most of the time, so that's fine for me. Might not be for you. Minions with Battlecry cost 2 more. So this is a good way of slowing down your opponent if they have a Battlecry heavy deck, and 1/4 for 2. Not that great, because of the attack being very, very low, but it'll suck up some damage, and if you want to get rid of a Loot Hoarder or something, it's one of the better ways to do so. So Nerebar Weblord, I wouldn't say it's a bad card, I wouldn't say it's a good card, it's a very situational card, which you might find with a lot of these. But here's one that I almost universally consider a good card, Nerubian Egg, summon a 4/4 Nerubian. So it's effectively a 4/4 for 2, as long as you can get rid of it, which is very, very good, in my opinion. So you can either, the reason I like Druid is you can do something like give it a Mark of the Wild, which puts it in taunts, and even gives it the ability to attack, or Mark of Nature, which you can give it a taunt, so you can force your opponent into destroying it. But the other thing you can do is you can use direct removal like Wrath on it in the instance of a Druid and just destroy it, and then you have on turn 3 a 4/4 out, which is nothing to complain about. So the Nerubian Egg, once again, you need to make sure you have a way of getting it destroyed, because your opponent will definitely try and play around it or they will silence it, but if you can get it out there, it is great value. Because even if you're destroying it with something like a Wrath, that's still a 4/4 for 4, but you can get it out earlier than that, even on turn 3 or something. So nothing to complain about there. And this is one that I'm going to be using in a lot of my new decks. So pretty great card, I think. And I believe that we are on to the last card, which is a legendary that you get from beating the final boss, Maxena. And the card is Maxena. Destroy any minion damaged by this minion. This is a pretty awesome card. Come on. It's like a giant Emperor Cobra, which has the same power, but is a 2/3. So, when would you use this? I would recommend it the most in a Druid deck, because, like I said, you can Mark of Nature it, which would give it +4 health and taunt, so you have a 2/12, but anything that attacks it will be destroyed, which almost guarantees at least a 2-for-1. So it's a pretty sick card at destroying big taunts or core hounds or whatever else you need. It'll get rid of it, and that is just a nice guarantee to have in the deck. So that wraps up the Arachnid Quarter card guide video. I think most of the cards are good, with the best, in my opinion, probably being the Nerubian Egg or Maxena, and Ubar Ambusher as well. And of course, I love the spiders. They're good spiders. You get two 1/1 spectral spiders. I mean, what's to complain about there? You gotta like it. I mean, Nearbar Weblord is probably the worst in my opinion, but it's a solid card set, and I would recommend playing with it some more. And actually, I am probably going to make a deck for this in a future video, in which I incorporate all of the Arachnid Quarter cards and try to make the best deck possible, and then play around with it, see if it's good. So I hope you guys liked this video. Please subscribe if you did for more Hearthstone and assorted other stuff. Play a lot of Loof Trousers, because that's fun. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Later.